Hey everybody, and welcome back to another fun and exciting intermediate math class. Today we are going to be continuing in chapter number 8. Chapter number 8, as we started in the last lesson, is talking about graphs and how we take that statistical information that we got through our survey, through our whatever, by whatever means we collected it. And now we're taking that information and we're putting it into some sort of a visual form. So in lesson 8.2, that is on page 302, page 302, we're going to be talking about circle graphs and how circle graphs kind of relate to this. A little bit shorter video. Hope you enjoy it. Make sure you pay attention. You will see I've got a couple things written. You can also see these in your book. The first word here is circle graph. The circle graph shows how the part relates to the whole. What does that mean? So it's like you take pieces, kind of like we were doing in probability, where we would take pieces and parts and we would divide them by the total to find the percentage or the probability that something would happen. It's kind of the same thing. If you look down here at the formula, it actually says we're going to put the part over the whole. Pretty much just like we were doing again in probability. So let's take a look here at this little problem. We have at the local zoo, there are 72 mammals, 102 birds, 54 reptiles, and 72 amphibians. And so what we want to do is we want to find we want to represent this data right here, these words, if you will. We want to be able to put that into the circle so that somebody can see a picture of what's going on. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's start with the 72 mammals, since that's the first thing that comes up. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug 72, that is the part, that is the piece that we're looking for, and we're going to plug that in over the whole. Now, I'll save you a little bit of time right there. There are 300 total animals, okay? So that's the total. So every one of these is going to be part over whole. So we'll start with the mammals. So we're going to go ahead and take 72 over 300. And I'm going to cheat just a little bit here. I'm going to break out the calculator and we'll do 72 divided by 300 equals 24, or 24%. So I'm just going to write these over here. I'm going to write M for mammals, and that is going to be 24%. Okay, and then we'll just do the next one, and we're going to wait to put them all on the circle graph here in just a second. So we'll do, and then I'll put them in different colors so you can kind of see how it all works together and looks pretty when we're done. Although my graphs very rarely look pretty, yours will probably look better than mine. I'm not much of an artist. So 102 birds. So let's go ahead and do the birds next. So B for birds. And how are we going to do that? We're going to go ahead and put the part over the whole again. So the part is 102, the whole is 300. So we'll go back to our calculator here, and 102 divided by 300 equals 34%. 0.34 is 34%. All right, and so now we're going to do the reptiles, and there was 54 of those. We'll change colors again. We'll go purple here. 54 reptiles over 300. So over here, we'll do the reptiles, and there will be, we'll go ahead and divide that out, and 54 divided by 300 equals 18%. Okay, so 18% are reptiles. And then notice that the amphibians, okay, they match the mammals. There's 72 of both of those. So really we don't have to do that 2 times, right? Because it's going to come out to the same thing. So we're going to have 24 on the amphibian, 24% on the amphibians as well. So just do 24%. If you remember when we did the probabilities, when we add all of these pieces up, it should equal 100, because 100% of the animals are represented by these numbers. So let's go ahead and add this up. If you add this up, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 4 is 20, and we do come up with 100%. Okay, so we're good there. Now, the question is, how do I get 100% of these, basically, of these numbers into the circle? How do I put those all into my circle? Well, if you remember something about the circle, okay, 100% of the circle is 360 degrees, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply each one of these by 360. And then what that'll do when you multiply your percent times 360 is that will tell you what percent of the circle each one is. So now we'll go back to the calculator. We'll do 24% times 360. So we'll clear that out. 24, actually 0.24 times 360. And that's going to give us 86.4. We'll just do 86. So 86 degrees. Now remember that amphibians were also 24%, so they're also going to be 86 degrees. Okay. Degrees are the degrees in a circle, 360. You take your protractor and you measure there on the circle. So that's why we're doing this, so that we can actually take our protractor here in a minute and we can measure them onto the circle. So then we would do the 34%. So we need 34 or 0.34 times our 360. All right, 122.4. So 122 degrees. And then we have our last one here, this purple one. We have the reptiles at 18%. So 0.18 times 360 is going to equal 64.8. We'll do 65% on that one. Now, when we add these up, these should equal 360 degrees. Because we did some rounding off, it's possible that they don't equal exactly 360. So if you get 359 or you get 361, it's not a big deal. You're really close and it'll be fine. So again, remember, we're not really going for like perfect accuracy when we're doing our graphing. We're more going for a visual representation of pretty much what the data shows. Really close, but we're going to be rounding off a little bit. So make it close, do your best, and you should be fine. All right, so what we want to do is we would come up here, and I'm not really going to show you like putting a protractor on and making it perfect, but I'm going to kind of do my best. So we'll start here with the blue one. We'll do 86 degrees. So we'll start here, and 86 is going to be really close to 90, so I'm going to put that one right there. And we're going to call this you'll call this the blue one. And you could do it several different ways. I think the book actually takes, and they actually write in 24%. And we'll just do it blue so that we know that the blue is the mammal color. And then we'll go to the pink one, and we'll do the pink one at 122 degrees. I'm actually going to do that one last because that one will just kind of be easier if I do it last. Let's do the amphibians next, which was another 86 degrees. So again, that's really close to 90. So coming down here, now this one's going to be real close to 90, so we'll put it here. And that's going to be another 24%, and that's the green ones. That's the amphibians. Then we'll do the reptiles, which were 18%, 65 degrees. And so I'll just kind of guess here a little bit at 65 degrees. And we'll go somewhere in there. And I'll put 65. Now you would actually be measuring that out with your protractor, what the actual degrees were. And then the last one, the 34%, the birds were 122 degrees. So 34%. All right, there you go. So there is your circle graph with this data information. So, I mean, just look at the two. Let's compare them. So here's your word information. There's your data. And it looks boring, right? It's just a bunch of words and letters and numbers and yeah, okay. But then you look over here at this circle, right? And it's a little bit more, you can kind of see it a little bit better. It's more visually pleasing. It's you're interested in it. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You're looking at the percents, you're looking at the colors, you're looking at the circles, and it basically takes the same information but puts it in a way that readers can understand. Now you're looking at 24% instead of looking at 72 mammals. So you're kind of looking at it in a way that your brain can visualize what 24% looks like. That's why we use a circle graph. Right, I told you it was a little bit shorter, right? So hopefully you were able to follow that. Basically just trying to make your information, your data look pretty, right? We're putting it in a format. We're making it into something that the readers can see very easily. So that's all I've got for you in this video. We will be learning more graphs in the future, so keep watching and keep practicing this. Go into those practice problems there in your book, go into that homework and practice these. They say that practice makes perfect, right? So make sure that you're pulling those up, doing the work, and you will be able to get good at this. Some kids like this because it's more drawing, right? So it's the ability to draw a circle and do different things, and it's more than just numbers and adding and subtracting and things like that. So that's all I've got for you. If you missed anything, make sure you slide it back, watch it again. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.